We are going to discuss a few items, a few points about mostly what happens to candidates of a presidential election. Once you are cleared by the IEBC as a candidate and your name is going to appear on the presidential ballot, your security is enhanced. From that time onwards, you are given security simply because, according to the 2010 Constitution, if any of the candidate dies, either naturally or otherwise, between the day of the nomination to the election day, then that candidate, then the whole election repeats itself on all levels, all the 6 ballot papers. So the one for the presidency is more tense, and that is why the candidate for the presidency needs security. Even other candidates up to MCA need security, but you can understand the logistics of having more security officers allocated to all candidates of all levels. So special security is laid to the presidential candidate because of the nature it is. So one is given security of at least 6 guards, but the number may vary because of various reasons. A person like, supposing you subscribe to the Muslim faith, where you are allowed to have 4 wives. Of course, somebody with one spouse needs less security than a man who has 4 wives. So there is also, you have to consider whether you have more than one homes. There are those who have you may be coming from Kino and you have no home in Nairobi. Somebody may have a royal home and the city or the capital home. So it will, all your homes where you stay, if you go to Shags, where you stay at Shags, and your city house will have protection throughout. They will also consider where you come from. You could be coming from areas that are known to be violent. You could also your prior position before you became the candidate. For example, candidate Ruto is entering the race as a deputy president. Candidate Raila is entering as a former prime minister. Now, former prime minister and former vice presidents have their security on their own. Now, when you enter the contest, you will have both. This is something that has to be looked at for case to case, because there is no one solution. They look at the security that Raila has. Maybe the security that he has as a former prime minister is already more than required for a candidate. Or it is something that will be looked into case by case, so that the proper security officers look at it and then come up with a figure. After IBC declares one as a president-elect, for example, they say that JI-TENGE, you are now president-elect. All other candidates who are on the ballot paper, their security is withdrawn immediately. Or, if the security team assesses your security and finds that it should take a bit longer, or the withdrawal should be gradual, it will be case by case. But legally, from a security point of view, is that once Chebukati declares somebody that you are the president-elect, all other candidates reverse to their former security arrangements. If it is Ruto, who has lost, his security reverts back to the deputy president's security. It goes that way until the day that the new deputy president will be sworn in, and his security will now revert to former vice president's security. If it is Raila who has lost, his security will revert back to the former prime minister's security detail. And as for the other candidates, it will revert back to the former position. And as I said, they may gradually change it. There are some security experts will look at it and say that maybe just suddenly dropping your security may be a threat to you, so they may do it as case-to-case basis. But if someone goes to the Court of Appeal, first of all, when you are made a president-elect, your security is enhanced to a level that your security is more than that of a deputy president, but less than that of a president. So once somebody goes to court and appeals, you will continue having the president-elect's security up to the time the judgment will be made by the Supreme Court. If it nullifies the election, then your security goes back to the candidate's security, and all other candidates whose security was withdrawn will immediately be reverted. That is now that it reaches a stage. Now anybody can appeal. Anybody can appeal to the Supreme Court. Any voter, any registered voter can appeal that he or she doesn't like the election, and when it is nullified, your security is taken back from that one of president-elect to that one of candidate. Now, there is the case of security briefing. Both the security and intelligence agencies, the president-elect gets equal security and intelligence briefing that the president gets. The only thing is his opinion is not sought. Or if it is not written anywhere, it is not noted anywhere. It is ile inasemekanaga ni hapa hapa tu. He may even ask what is the president doing about it and why is he doing that. But he has no authority to tell the president do this and this. It is for the president up to the swearing in date. On the swearing in date, the second last person to enter the stadium is the president-elect. And the last person to leave, to enter the stadium is the president, the outgoing president. Once the sword is handed over, then immediately the sword, it is just figurative. It is just a sign of now showing who is the next person. But once the sword is taken over and the ADC, the army man or the military man who stands behind the president, once the ADC moves from the outgoing president to the incoming president now becomes the president. The order of leaving that place, is that everybody leaves, including visiting heads of state, they leave. The second last person to leave is the outgoing president. And the last person to leave, is the newly installed president. Wajakoya was saying that he will suspend the constitution after being elected. Once he becomes the president, if Wajakoya will be the president, that is, then he has all the presidential prerogative, that of the commander-in-chief of the Kenya Defense Forces and whatever. But before he is given the sword, he can do nothing. His is only to be told and be told what the other president is doing. Thank you.